right, with that, basically, how do your next 2 days go down? I want to say, how do your next 2 days go down? There's things you can investigate, that you could just have character moments, whatever you want to do.
Well, Piers he's used to traveling for work, so he's going to spend a lot of time making sure he's got supplies for everything, snacks hidden away, any kind of backup. He'll make sure that he packs, even for everyone else, like some food, some water bottles. He wants to make sure no one's going to forget at least basic necessities.
It's good. Do you pack anything sentimental?
I'm going to pack a photo of me and a previous coworker.
Nice.
How terrifying. Everett wants to spend a little bit of time asking Penelope questions and kind of doing like a little bit of extra research on the place.
Yeah, now is a good time to be doing research. Basically, this is like when the writer is doing like research and stuff, but you could do it with them too.
Yeah, Everett would tag team with them because Everett wants to know more about this place. Do you both have like a library day? Or records day, or a day on the internet, we
or
have
something?
A research day.
How do you? So it sounds like this is something that Penelope and Everett do a lot together for every episode, because Everett seems kind of passionate, I guess, about the show, right?
Everett on the outside, like from an outside perspective, looks like they couldn't give two shits about being there until like they actually know what's going on, and then like right leading up to the actual shoot. They're very much wanting to do research on it to know what's going on, and then during the shoot they're kind of more passive until like shit goes down.
Makes sense. Yeah. So when you research things, what do both of you do? Like, do you go to a library? Do you just go to one of the other one's house and just do an internet day, or like how does researching look when both of you get together for this kind of passion project thing?
Would Penelope be a library person?
I think Penelope. I think that Penelope probably. I think actually for something like this, she's totally comfortable like staying at home and using the internet, and she's just got all of these different. She's got like. I'm assuming she's one of those people that has access to like all kinds of different like research facilities, and she just like pays the money for it so that she can have access to old documents and stuff. And if she needs to go to a place to see them up close, but otherwise she stays at home and does her research, I think.
So
via internet.
It's one of those things where you see like Everett in the background asking questions and lounging and kind of thinking of ideas, and Penelope being like, "Oh, I'm gonna look up this. I'm gonna look up that. Oh, let's go. We can figure that out by going here," kind of thing.
Yeah, Everett just has like different like pieces of paper that he's like going through and making notes on and stuff like that, and like notebook, like scribbling notes, like more personal notes of that sort of thing, so that he knows what's going on. But yeah, he'd definitely be focused on like names.
All right. Actually, that's a good lead-in. Why don't you two start asking questions and I can start answering them?
Sheesh.
Yeah. So this is literally you two doing research on, I guess, technically, specifically Glaas House. You already know everything you need to know about the lighthouse. You don't know anything about Glaas House, though.
Yeah.
Well?
Well, we search Glaas House, and those are cute. What becomes, no, like if there were other disappearances with like any notable news from the construction of the house.
This is a good start. So, would you like to spend any points in this research?
Points.
Oh, then yeah, I'll fucking use some.
What would you like to use?
Research?
That's a good one, isn't it?
What a great one. If I also spend a point of research, could it be like double good?
Devil good.
I'm gonna say one is enough. I'm gonna give you two things really quick. The first thing that comes up when you essentially do this is the first thing you do is you Google, like, just see what's easiest to get out the gate. All you did was Google Glass House Eilean Moore. So here's what you get from that. The first thing you get is the history of Eilean Moore and a map of Eilean Moore.
Hooray!
Those are both being shared in there. Now, the history of Eilean Moore is very big. Most of it is, the most important parts are the things that Penelope already said. I've highlighted that story, essentially. You could read all of it, but in all honesty, it's stuff you already know. The history of the island is mostly just going to be about the lighthouse.
Is that based on the actual real?
Yes.
Then we're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
That I know.
It's there if you want it, but you don't necessarily need it because Penelope/Emma in a real life knows all about that.
Y'all, this is a real place. This is no joke.
This is a real place and has a real story behind it. The only thing that's fictional is the Glass House, which is what the entire scenario revolves around. But if you look at the map of Eilean Moore, you can at least see where the lighthouse is, how big the Glass House is. It's a little bigger than you're probably expecting, and weirdly shaped too. Anything else about that? It looks like a big circle with another circle inside of it.
It's got a wall around it.
The second thing you find out is you figure out about the construction of Glass House, and it reads, construction started 8 years ago and was completed 7 years ago, carried out by a local contractor from Stornoway, Glen Rose of Rose Construction. And as a reminder, you will be going to Stornoway, so you could potentially interview these people. Immediately after completion of the structure and the installation of key facilities like the wind turbine generator on the roof, kitchen, and bathroom facilities, a survey team from London traveled to the island to inspect the structure met the stringent requirements and specifications as laid down by Patrick Riley, who had commissioned the project. The team of 6 surveyors, Riley and Glass, were all reported missing a few days later. Wreckage of their boat was later washed up on the western shore of the Isle of Lewis. No bodies were ever found. All 8 individuals were subsequently declared dead in absentia last week, 7 years after they were reported missing. The 6 surveyors were Virginia Bell, 30 years old, Naomi Brown, 33 years old, Fiona Cooper, 45 years old, Walter Davies, 34 years old, Thomas James, 42 years old, and Gregory Scott, 31 years old.
Okay.
And that's what you get from that. Now,
what? Hang on. Hold up. Hang on. So, the names are important for me for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name between Naomi and Walter?
Fiona Cooper.
Fiona.
Okay. Okay.
Now, there's a couple of things that popped up there that you can deep dive further if you'd like.
Yeah, you read it really fast, and I don't remember half of it. But
I don't want to say the most important things are the name of the contractors were Rose Construction in Stornoway. To which you can do a more in-depth interview with those people, because you want to do interviews for the show too, because it's a ghost hunting show, so you want to add the story of what happened and all that stuff. So the chances are that might be better to investigate in person. However, another name that popped up that seemed important was Patrick Riley, who does anybody... And now here's the thing that might not be obvious. And again, we've only played Gumshoe twice now, and it's been like a year in between. The stats that you might not really know are trivia, which is you can just think of something like, oh, I've heard about this. So if you want to...
I have that.
Yeah, you can spend that on certain things. And history is also something that it's just like, I recall this. I just know history, so I would know about this kind of things. So this is, I want to say this is the most Gumshoe we've ever gotten at this point, because you can really, you don't know how deep this can go.
Yeah.
So deep.
We're actually doing a mystery, not just trying to survive.
Yeah. This is, you're legit like investigating at this point. But those are probably the most important one. There was a list of 6 surveyor names. I'm going to be honest with you. Those aren't as important.
Well, they're important to me for
reasons
that will come up later.
How delightful.
You go.
So with the information on the 3 lighthouse keepers who went missing, I know that they found one journal, like some journal entries of that. Are there like any letters or journal entries or reports that would be significant, or is that all in the thing that you sent us? Is that all we know?
I'm going to give you this when you Google that. You find out about Patrick Riley. The reason that it pops up in this search is I'll point it out and make a big aha moment. But here's what it says when you look up basically James Ducat's journal, which is one of the lighthouse keepers, and that's the famous journal from that story. And it says Riley became famous as a travel writer that documented cultures and esoteric practices from across the globe. It brought him tremendous wealth, although this was not his primary goal for writing. He was quoted as having said that he wanted to enlighten the masses as to the true nature of the world that exists just beyond our grasp. After some digging, a photo can be found of Riley and Glaas at the opening of the new Front Hill Abbey 15 years ago. This was where the two men first met, and it proved to be a meeting which would ultimately lead to Riley approaching Glaas to build the house for him on Eilean Moor. Riley had been staying in Scotland for a few months, having returned to the UK after one of his numerous trips abroad, where he purchased what was reputed, but not proven, to be the last journal of James Ducat. That's why it popped up in your thing. One of the Eilean Moor lighthouse keepers. He subsequently remained in Scotland and commissioned the house a short while after traveling to the island and acquiring the lease from the land of the Scottish government. Riley never made any official announcement about the house or his reasons for having it commissioned. It was rumored he was going to retire there, wanting to withdraw completely from society, but this was pure speculation as he was only in his early 40s at the time of his disappearance. Patrick Riley also kind of strikes a bell because he is a famous travel author, so it's almost like he's like akin to like, oh, I know Anthony Bourdain, like I've heard of that show and stuff like that. Like that's kind of how famous Patrick Riley was. You've heard about his show, you've probably heard about his blog, maybe you've read it a couple of times because sometimes he'd bring up ghost stories. So the name sounded a bit familiar. So the fact that it's serendipitous with him buying James Ducat's maybe journal, because they never really verified it, but they think he bought it. With that, we're going to smash cut to Joe or Piers. Well, Piers, you already kind of did a thing. Joe, what are you doing while everybody else is researching? We're going to cut back to you guys to do more questions, so no worries.
I am doing the best I can to ensure that they have all the resources that they need. I know that Penelope and Everett are working hard and researching, so I'm going to go and try and use my contacts. I think I have a point in law. I don't know what all that entails, but I would love to use it if I can, or something, to try and pull the deeds, the land deeds, i.e. get access to any type of blueprints that they may have on file, any type of land deeds, history of the actual Isle and its owners, inhabitants, ensure that essentially, like, logistically making sure that we all get there safely.
So with that, I can give you a few things. You said you at least wanted the blueprints for the house.
Yep.
You managed to find those. I will give them to you in the Discord.
Yay!
This is what you find for the blueprints of the house. However, where did it go?
Where did it go?
Why didn't? Oh, there we go. What you do notice is that all you find is, so you find this picture that shows a map of the blueprint of the house. However, what you do find is it says draft. Does not say final. So you're unsure what that could possibly mean. However, the picture does look fairly Spartan. So chances are that is not the final layout of the house. However, you do find that. Secondly, you were trying to you used the law to kind of look into the house and the legalese of the house.
Yeah. Pulling the deeds,
How many points did you spend in it?
I just have a point.
Okay. So you confirm that all technicalities as outlined by Audrey, Glaas, and Valerie Irvin are completely above the board. There's no legal obfuscation taking place. Audrey does own this house. Nathan is listed as missing in absentia, so he is like, as far as the government's concerned, he's dead.
He's dead.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he actually is. He could be, he could not be. Nobody knows. He's gone. He's been missing for 7 years. So there's nothing illegal going on here. Like, everything is above the book. You find all the stuff about Valerie inquiring with the Great Northern Lighthouse, so that you guys can film there and everything. You're all good. What was the other question you had?
I was trying to just look up deeds to the land, whether it was something that had been in the Glaas family like the whole time.
So you look up stuff about the Glaas family.
Yeah.
I'll stop you right there, because this is what you find out about that. You find out about Audrey and Nathan's relationship. And it says, Nathan was a renowned architect that won numerous awards for his designs. The most famous of his projects was to recreate William Beckford's Front Hill Abbey for a famous movie star 15 years ago. Audrey was originally a graphic designer that now runs a successful advertising firm. They were due for a divorce on grounds of irreconcilable differences, but the process was tied up in numerous legal issues and was not resolved at the point when Nathan was declared missing. So this put a halt to the divorce case. The house on Eilean Moor is the last project that Nathan worked on. He had no other ongoing projects at the time of his disappearance. He was officially declared dead in absentia last week.
I believe we lost Alex.
Oh, I thought she was just really listening.
I think
there she is.
I mean, I was really listening.
Yay.
Did you get all that, though?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Yeah,
And I want to say... Okay, so this is something else you find because you were looking into the blueprints of the house.
Okay.
It says, the Royal Institute of British Architects has copies of the plans of the house, which is what you've gotten, created by Glaas, based on Riley's designs. The whole structure is 49 meters across, with each room inside being approximately 18 meters across at their widest points. This is horseshit. You don't have to remember. But it's believable, right?
It's even. Everything is very even.
Yeah. The rooms of the ground floor are approximately 18 meters tall, making them as tall as they are wide. The rooms on the upper floor are only 6 meters tall, making the ground floor 3 times taller than the upper floor. What you get is there's a lot of very even things happening here. Inside the outer walls of the structure, powered by the wind turbine generator on the roof, is a wire mesh that turns the building into a Faraday cage. Given the island is constantly beset by high wind, without any shelter, the wind turbine would be able to supply the house with a constant supply of power. And then it says it should also be noted that this document is labeled draft, so the blueprints are not final.
Right. And there's no way to really... I mean, he disappeared during doing it, so I assume there's no really way to
ask him.
Yeah.
No.
One last question, and I will release my time. Are there any other personal records on the Glaas family, and there's no like court records beyond that, so there was nothing like that? Okay.
No, you got probably the most important things about the Glaas family.
Got it.
With that, do you send any of that information back to Penelope and Everett?
Oh, absolutely. I put it all together in a package, and I drop it off to them.
Right.
I would like to speak to Penelope, though.
Oh, yeah. So you call up?
Yeah. Hey, Pen.
Yes?
You're right.
You caught me when I was eating.
Sorry. Listen, I know that you've been doing really good research, and
You have an incoming call from Melanie.
Oh, shit.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I'll call her back. Hey, I know Everett's been taking on a lot of the hosting and work, and she says work in like quotation marks to let you know that it's like the more psychic load. I think you might need to step up a little bit more on this one. I know you
What?
have a gift. You have a gift. You need to use it. We're a little desperate.
what you're talking about.
Oh no,
Pen.
she knows. She knows you know. Both you know about each other.
Well,
About nothing. Don't worry about it. Nobody.
Pen.
nothing, y'all.
It's a private phone call. Nobody else is listening. This might be it.
But I don't know if I can.
I don't think we really have a choice. And
I don't know if I can.
Hey, Penelope!
I have-
Penelope,
Hold
put the
on to
scone-
your
Wait,
butt.
I just want to know where you put the scones.
Oh, they're in the cupboard on the left.
All right, thank you.
I've already almost burnt out Everett. I've rode him so hard. Oh, for frick's sakes. Alright, I'll give you a call back.
No, it's not a phone call. It's a text that from Melanie that just says fine.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Whatever. Anyways, I'm dropping off something for you. It's got a lot of information. I got the blueprints, a draft at least. See if you can get anything from it. I don't want to talk about this again. It needs to happen. This show needs to go on. It's time for you to step up. I don't want to hear anything else about it. And she'll hang up.
Damn, producer getting shit done.
This is really funny because this is actually my job.
Perfect.
And text Melanie. What?
She doesn't respond. And then we cut back to
Thank God.
we cut back to Penelope and Everett. So you now have access to the blueprints of the house. If anything, if you have any questions about that, you can let me know. But did you have any more questions?
I would like a moment. It doesn't have to be a big moment, but when I think Everett would come in as you're like hanging up the phone with just half of a scone in his face, and say, "Who's that?"
Joe.
And
Have you ever had a dream?
what did she want?
She's going to drop some stuff off for us that we can take a closer look at. That perhaps if we combine it with the stuff that we have, maybe we'll have a better picture of what we're walking into.
Perfect. Good.
I want to say you just get a text and you get the images.
We have them here. She's
Or
not
email.
coming by.
It's an email.
It's an email.
It's a fax.
E stands for evil.
Great. Good. Good.
Mm,
Great.
so good.
Very good. You're very good at this. You knew a lot about this.
I'm
Before-
surprised the rest of you don't. It's literally the most famous island out here. Everybody knows this story.
I barely know my streets.
Why?
Because I don't care that much about
You
an
need to
island.
sleep more.
It's
No.
challenging.
Challenging. Go have another scone and a cup of coffee.
I will do that.
Have a nap.
Thoroughly reprimanded. I will go and do that.
Are we at my house for this or are we at your house? We're at my
Your
house.
house.
Which
yeah.
one do you
Okay.
decide? Yeah.
All right.
I assumed yours because I asked where the scones were.
Oh yeah. Where are the scones in my own house?
Bloody scones! Where do I put them?
Where did you put my scones? Where are they?
I have one question. I want to know if there was a record of there having been a really awful, freaky, weird storm that did a fair amount of destruction. Was any of that cleaned up, or has it all been left?
Oh, you mean like, what do you mean by cleaned up or all left?
So, there was that was one of the like theories of how.
Oh, you mean
missing.
is there any like lasting damage from when the story of Eilean Moore happened? No,
Yeah.
It's been vaguely cleaned up. However, the lighthouse is kind of considered like a historical site, so they left the chair unturned in the food there. But the food is like fake food now.
Okay,
So-
gotcha. But everything else has been left, but the damage.
Yeah, well, the
of that-
lighthouse works too. I don't know if it was
Okay.
not working at the time, but the lighthouse is now a working light because they need the lighthouse.
They do need the lighthouse.
So,
No, the
like,
lighthouse was working at the time, but
Yeah,
everything else had stopped.
Yeah, no, they left some of the stuff there as kind of a museum, but like,
Okay.
it's a lighthouse and there's a lighthouse keeper's hut next to it and a garden
Gotcha.
surrounding it and everything.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's not damaged and decrepit anymore. It's fairly kept.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was it.
Okay. And then any other questions? If not, we could cut to either the night before we leave, if anybody wanted a character moment, or we could just go to start going.
I think that I would like to have a moment alone with Joe at some point. It can be like the day we're leaving, or it can be like sometime.
Sure.
Before
Yeah, I
that.
mean, there's plenty of commute time too, if you wanted for that.
Private conversation.
Oh,
with
okay.
Joe.
Well,
Even
well,
if it's just like a pull aside with like everyone else kind of in the way background as we're like getting ready to go.
I'll take you for a drink. She'll take
Okay.
him for a drink.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Yeah, I want to say that happens maybe the night before you guys leave. But yeah, no more questions about the Glass House or anything like that. Anybody can ask him. It doesn't have to just be Penelope and Everett.
Yeah. Pierce?
I would just want to make sure I got a copy of blueprints and house layouts and things like that. So I would know.
Everybody has access to it.
Yeah, so that's all shared and everything. So you're all good. Okay, cool. With that, we can cut to the bar scene then.
Okay.
Is it at the Macabre?
It is,
No,
indeed.
Okay. Well, whatever bar.
It's your
it is.
favorite
100%.
bar. Come on, it's your favorite bar.
It's within walking distance for Everett, so that's of course the one that he goes to.
Piers bikes there.
God, Piers. So
You look tired.
I'm always tired. So I feel like I've brought this up once or twice, and I just feel like I should bring it up again. I really think that maybe for this one, Penelope and I swap jobs. I really think I'm very tired. You know, and I've been really wanting, you know, more of a hands-off thing for a while. Do you not remember this do you remember this? We had this conversation once
Oh,
or
I know.
twice.
Listen. At this point, it's the season finale, right?
Right.
We only have a little bit more to go. How about this? I can't promise that I can take you completely off, especially since we can see from, what is it, Audrey? I don't know, she's a big fan of yours, so I feel as though not having you as a host
Joe-
would be a...
Sorry.
Listen, either we do this and we do it right and we do it with whatever we've got left and we leave nothing on that island, or we don't see a third season. And I don't want to see this fail. And honestly, I don't know where you got to pull it from, but you better start.
Maybe I don't want a third season.
Your contract says otherwise. Listen, I know you're tired. We're all tired. I know this takes a huge weight on you, and I see it. And I wish I didn't have to lean on you so much for it. I can ask Penelope to take on more responsibilities, more hands-on, if you get my drift. But I can't take you off completely, especially not off of this episode. This is literally what's going to be paying us.
Fine.
One more.
But afterwards, I want to revisit this.
You want a break, and I see it, and I want to give it to you. One more.
One more. Scene.
One last ride.
Let's go.
I'm telling you, this is the best Scottish I've ever done in my existence.